Hello. Hi. I just got finished getting ready and I thought that it would be really fun to film like a little vlog today. I've really been in the mood to read, so I thought that for the first time in a while, I'll film like a very classic old style reading vlog. I know lately I've been doing a lot of those like experiment videos and they've been super fun, but at the same time they're a lot more difficult and time consuming and just like longer term projects to make, so I thought it would be fun to just film like a regular old reading vlog and just have you come around with me about my day. Like I said, I just finished getting ready and I'm about to head out the door, so I have my like tote bag and everything. I'm going to a coffee shop and I'm just gonna sit and read for a little while. This vlog might be more than one day because it's already like afternoon. It's like 12:30 or 1 o'clock. I had a busy morning. My Ana Luisa bracelet launch was today, so I had to do that this morning, so I was a bit busy, so I didn't have time, so that's why I'm doing this a bit later in the day. But I'm super excited about this bracelet being out now. I'm just so thrilled that you all get to see it and you'll get to wear it soon. So it was a very exciting morning, but now I'm excited to spend the rest of the day just like resting and reading all I want. My books are all in my tote bag. Yes, I'm bringing literally all of them with me, even though I'm probably not even going to finish one of them. But the first thing I'm reading is this poetry book called Let Us Believe in the Beginning of the Cold Season by Forough Farrokhzad. I hauled it recently and then I posted about it on Instagram, and so far this is my favorite thing I've read this year, even though I'm not finished with it. I mean, it's different than like a novel, so I like it for very different reasons, but in terms of like the way that it has made me feel and like the emotional connection I feel like I've had with it, this has definitely been like my favorite read of the year. So I'm about like halfway through the collection so far. I have this much left. I've been tabbing all the poems that have like really resonated with me or like the lines that I really loved. So yeah, I'm excited to finish this one. And then the other book that I'm currently reading is Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. This is also a book that I'm loving. This is the first book in a really long time that I have read where I sat down, I started reading page 1, and then I read 100 pages without even like thinking about it. Time flew by completely and I had not realized how much I'd already read. I read those first 100 pages all in one sitting and I didn't even realize it because I was that immersed in the story. I'm loving this. Elias, who's one of my great friends, and I'm sure many of you know from his channel, has read and loved this book and he recommended it to me, and he told me that he thinks I'd like it because it has Howl's Moving Castle vibes, and I can 100% confirm that. I agree. It absolutely has Howl's Moving Castle vibes. Studio Ghibli vibes in general, but especially Howl's Moving Castle vibes, and I am eating it up. I am absolutely adoring this so far and I'm so excited to finish it. I'm on page 115 and I just cannot wait to finish the rest of this. I just know this is going to be one of my favorite reads of the year. It's going to be a new all-time favorite YA fantasy. I was really hesitant about picking this one up for a while because I've read Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson a long time ago and I didn't really like that book. I didn't have super strong feelings about it. I just remember not liking it very much. So I was never that interested in picking up her other books because I thought I wouldn't like them either, but I'm so glad I gave this a chance, and I just know I'm gonna love the rest of it too. So yeah, this is gonna be really fun to finish today too. So yeah, those are the two main books that I'm reading, and then I am also listening to an audiobook, which is what I plan to listen to while I am walking to the coffee shop, because I have to get in my hot girl walk of the day, my mental health walk of the day, because unfortunately, yes, it does help when I go outside and actually go for a walk every day. The audiobook that I'm listening to is the Traveling Cat Chronicles. This is a Japanese book that is translated, and after I read Before the Coffee Gets Cold, a lot of people recommended this to me and they told me that they think I would like it. And I love anything about cats. As someone who had a cat for 16 years and she was my baby and like the love of my life, I love anything about cats. And people were like, it's gonna make you cry. And like, yeah, probably, because I will cry even if I just look at a picture of a cat. So there's a very likely chance that I will cry listening to this, but I'm very excited. I'm only one chapter in. I've read the prologue and I've started chapter 1. So I'm not that far into it, but already I'm definitely enjoying it. It's not super long, so I'll definitely be able to get through this one pretty quickly too. I think I can easily finish all 3 of these. Anyway, that's it for the books. I'm gonna show you my outfit really quickly and then I'm gonna head out and we can go to the coffee shop. Okay, so this is my outfit. I'm wearing this sweater that I wear all the time because it's super comfy and green and I love the color green. And then these brown trousers, which I also love. They're also super comfy. And of course, my Shakespeare and Company backpack. I love that these are trendy now because I have used this as my backpack since like 2017. And now I see people wearing them all the time and they're like a trendy bag, and I love it. That's my outfit. Oh, I also have this, like, you cannot see it from here. I have this green ribbon in my hair because, like I said, I love the color green, so I will use any excuse to wear it. My hair's a bit messy, but I cannot be bothered. And so yeah, I'm excited to go sit, relax, and read. So let's go do that. Hello, I'm back. It was really windy outside while I was walking, so my hair is now just all over the place, but it's okay. Anyway, I had a great time at the coffee shop. I love this coffee shop and I really should go more often because it's just fun and nice to like not be in the house all the time. And since I like work from home entirely and I don't have coworkers, I never see people. So it's really nice for me to get to like actually go outside and see other human beings. On my way walking there and back, I listened to more of the Traveling Cat Chronicles and I am almost at the end of chapter 1. I don't really have an opinion of it so far. I think the story's like just getting started, so I don't have much to comment on. And then while I was at the coffee shop, I read a lot of Sorcery of Thorns. I read several chapters. I'm now on page 183. So I read like a decent amount, maybe like 70 pages or something like that. I get really distracted when I'm in public, so it's harder for me to read, but this book like really holds my attention. So I'm getting closer to halfway through the book. And I'm loving it more and more with every single page. The Studio Ghibli vibes, especially the Howl's Moving Castle vibes, are very strong with this one, and I live for it. It's so good. I love the way it's written because it's funny and also definitely emotional. It feels like a movie, plays out like a film in my head in the best way, and it just has the vibes. It has the vibes. I don't know how else to describe it. That's not a very articulate description, but it's the most accurate one. It just has the vibes, and I'm so here for it. I cannot wait to keep reading. All I want to do is continue reading this one. But I do have some like chores and stuff I need to do. Like I need to vacuum and wash the dishes and stuff because the house is messy and it's bothering me. So I have to do that today, as well as clean my room at one point because the chair has returned, the chair from hell with all the clothes piled up on it. She's back and I've got to put all of that away. So I think I'm gonna do some of that while I listen to some more of the audiobook for a little while. And then once all of that is done and everything's clean and nice, I can sit down and relax and finish Sorcery of Thorns because that is my main objective for the day, or at least make like a decent amount of progress because like all I want to do is read this. All I want to know is what happens. Okay, literally 5 minutes after I turn off my camera, a package I ordered arrives and it's books. So time for a book haul. Okay, hello, book haul time. First up, I got a copy of The Wolf and the Woodsman by Ava Reid. I read this about like a week ago. I listened to the audiobook and I really enjoyed it, so I decided to get myself a physical copy because I wanted to own one for my collection. This is an adult standalone fantasy novel that is based off of Jewish mythology and Hungarian history. It's like a fantasy romance and it's definitely like an enemies to lovers story, and I just really liked it. I loved the writing in here. I loved the world building. I loved the commentary that the story had on religion, culture, nationalism. I just thought that the story had so much depth while also being really engaging, really entertaining, and the romance I thought was really good. It's definitely like a darker book. It's pretty gruesome and violent, so I would definitely check like the content warnings for it if you're interested in reading it, but I just really enjoyed this and I'm super excited for Ava Reid's next book, Juniper and Thorn, which comes out later this year. So yeah, I'm just very glad that I read this. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Would definitely recommend if you're interested in reading standalone fantasy. And then the second book that I bought is literally Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson, the book I'm reading right now. But the copy I'm reading is the ARC, and I've had it for a really long time and I didn't have a finished copy. And like I said, even 100 pages in, I know I'm gonna love this book. So I was like, I need to buy myself a finished copy. So now once I finish reading it, I can have my nice finished copy on my shelf, and anything I tab or mark up, I can like also tab and mark up in this one. And speaking of tabbing and marking things up, I bought myself some cute little colored tabs. I know annotating your books is like all the rage right now on Instagram and TikTok, and it makes me really happy to see because there was like such a long period of time where people were like, don't write in your books, don't put anything in your books, don't dog ear the pages, don't crack the spine, and people were pretty like puritanical about like what you can do with your books. And now I feel like we've moved into a phase where people are like, write in your books as much as you want to, annotate them, fill them with tabs, do whatever you want to them, which I think is really nice. I'm kind of like somewhere in the middle of those two. I write in some copies of my books, and then other books I prefer to keep completely pristine and I won't highlight or write anything in them and I'll just use tabs. But typically if I'm reading a physical book and it's something I'm really liking, I do usually mark things up with tabs, and I've always done that. And I was running low on the tabs that I did have, and I saw these, which I'm pretty sure are the ones that everyone has been using, and I just really like the colors of them because you can match them to the cover of your book, which is something I always do whenever I use the neon ones too, but there are only so many options with the neon ones because the color selection is limited. limited. So these are really nice. And it comes with like a pack of 6 of them, I think. Let me see. Yeah, there's like a ton in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is a lot. Like I will not get through all of these quickly. It's gonna take me a while. So I think it was a good purchase, but there's definitely a pretty decent color selection in here. Some of them are kind of the same, but overall I don't care that much. I'm not that picky about what tabs I use in my book. I just thought it would be fun to try something new and get something a little bit cuter and aesthetic. So yeah, I'm really happy to have these and really happy that I finally have these books as well. And now I can aesthetically annotate Sorcery of Thorns while I read it. Anyway, that's it for my little mini haul. I'm gonna go back to doing my chores and listening to the Traveling Cat Chronicles, and then I will be back once I'm done and give you another update. Hello everyone. I did some housekeeping. I washed the dishes and vacuumed a little bit and stuff. I also reorganized my bookshelves like a tiny bit, not enough to like film it, but like there were too many books on my floor. It was getting out of hand. But I'm gonna need to film like a full bookshelf reorganization video soon probably because I'm really running out of room. I need to unhaul some stuff and I really need to rearrange some stuff because it's a mess and it's overwhelming me. But right now it's like 6:30 and I need to eat dinner. I'm very, very hungry. So I have to make something. So I'm gonna do that while I listen to some more of the Traveling Cat Chronicles. I have 1 chapter and the epilogue left, I think. Yes, I am on chapter 4, which is the last chapter, plus the epilogue. I am really enjoying it so far. It's basically just the story about this man who has a cat and something happens and he has to give his cat away because he's not capable of taking care of it anymore. And we don't know what that reason is, although I can kind of guess already. And so he basically goes from friend to friend, asking them if they can take care of his cat for him. And it's all narrated from the perspective of the cat. It's really good so far. I'm really enjoying it. It's a short little read that is definitely emotional. It hasn't made me super, super emotional yet or made me cry, but there have been a couple of pretty impactful lines here and there, and I am definitely having a good time reading it. So I'm excited to finish that one. Oh, also, I wanted to share what I'm making because sometimes I get questions about like what I like to eat, and I've also kind of like thought about making some like cooking content every once in a while because I got into cooking a lot in the past couple of years. It's been really fun for me, and I'm not making anything extravagant at all today, but I'm just gonna share with you what I'm making because this is my vlog. I'm gonna be making like a buffalo chicken wrap with these like crispy chicken tenders, these Gardein chicken tenders that are vegan. Are they even vegan? Yes, they're vegan. Plant-based chicken tenders. And I put like this buffalo sauce on it and then wrap it in like a tortilla with some like greens and avocado, and it's super simple, really easy to make, and it doesn't take that long. And when I want to do something really fast, this has kind of been a recent go-to meal, so that's what we're gonna make today. I have some like lettuce here and then also avocado, which I will put in the sandwich as well. A super simple, quick meal. They are currently in the toaster oven, so they should be done in about like 8 minutes or so. I'm very excited to eat these. I am so hungry. Okay, my wrap is officially made. Let's see if it tastes good. It does, but honestly I could eat anything right now. I'm so hungry. It's very spicy. I might have put too much buffalo sauce on it, but it's very good. And I'm gonna go finish listening to the rest of the Traveling Cat Chronicles because I'm very close to the end now. So I will come back once I have finished this, and I will let you know my final thoughts on the book. All right, hello everyone. I just finished reading the Traveling Cat Chronicles. It was really good. I did expect it to make me cry. It didn't make me cry. I'm not exactly sure why. I think there was just something about the story that I didn't like fully connect with, but like as a whole, I still think it's really good. It's definitely emotional. I could definitely see it making people cry. It made me like almost get to the point of tearing up, but I didn't. So it could make me cry. Maybe if I read it again and I was just like in a different mood or like a more emotional mood, maybe it would have made me cry, but it's still good. I really enjoyed it. If you have a cat, if you've ever had a cat and you're just like a cat person, it's good. It's really touching. A happy but also sad story, which I have found to be the trend with a lot of Japanese translated fiction, and I really like it. I like sentimental stories like that, so I'm glad I read it and I'm glad I finished something. My hair is just all falling down. Okay. But now I'm gonna sit down and continue to read more of Sorcery of Thorns. I really want to make progress in that book because I'm just having the best time with it, and I have my bookshelf lights on, so I'm just gonna like make my room super cozy and warm, wrap myself up in a comfy blanket, and sit and read the book, and just like a good way to wind down for the day and for the rest of the night. I also completely forgot to say what I would rate the Traveling Cat Chronicles. I think I would give it like a solid 4 stars, like maybe 3.75 to 4, somewhere around there. I definitely liked it. I definitely would recommend it. So yeah, about 4 stars. But anyway, on to Sorcery of Thorns. All right, hello. I am in my comfy chair. I have my Chain of Thorns blanket, my Appa sweater, and my book, and I'm ready to read. I love reading from this chair because I look up and this is my view. Nothing brings me more comfort than looking at bookshelves, especially when it's night and you have like the lights on and everything. It's just so soothing. But anyway, back to more Sorcery of Thorns. Hello everyone, good morning. So I ended up falling asleep last night while I was reading. I think I was way more tired than I thought I was, so I didn't really read that much more. But it is a new day and I got dressed and ready for the day because it's really, really nice and sunny outside and warm. So I really want to go sit in the backyard, set up like a little picnic blanket for myself and lay out in the sun and read because I, like a cat, love to be warm and I love to curl up in the sun. I was also feeling really sunny, so I'm wearing this like sunflower yellowy jumpsuit that I have that I love so much. So yeah, today I was just feeling sunny and bright, so we're dressing for the mood. I even have my little cardigan with me in case I get cold, because I probably will no matter how sunny it is outside because I'm always cold. But it has little bees on it and the bees match my bee necklace, which match my bee earrings. Anthony Bridgerton would hate me. I'm gonna tie this around my shoulders like I'm some rich New Englander. You know what? It's kind of a look. Anyway, back to the books. I did make some progress. I have gotten to page 227 of Sorcery of Thorns, and I'm hoping to finish the remainder of it today. I stopped at like a really intense place too, I think. So yeah, I'm very excited to dive back into this and then hopefully also finish Let Us Believe in the Beginning of the Cold Season. So yeah, let's go set up a little cute picnic blanket, and I'll get some snacks and lie down in the sun. But first and foremost, sunscreen, because I'm not about to go lie out in the sun with no sunscreen on my face. Honestly, I should put some on my body too because my arms are exposed. All right, now I'm all sunscreened up and ready to go. All right, hello. So it is not the cutest setup in the world because it's kind of windy out here, and I also forgot that the grass was watered today, so I can't sit on the grass. And I'm also sitting on my yoga mat, but it's fine. We're out here, we're doing it. It's also really loud. I'm sorry if you can't hear me, but I'm gonna sit and read out here for as long as possible until the wind gets to be too much to handle. Hello. It's actually been a few days, and I did not have any time to continue updating in this reading vlog. This has been a complete mess. I was planning to just film for like 2 days and finish reading these books and update you all as I read them, have you come about my day. That didn't happen. I ended up having family come over, like a lot of stuff happened in between, so I really did not get to update the way I wanted to. But I didn't want to abandon this vlog altogether, so I'm now here to give you my final updates on the books I read, plus give you a little mini book haul because you can't see it that well, but there's like a big stack of books right here next to me. Because yes, I did buy more books after I explicitly told myself that I would stop buying them. I'm never gonna stop. But first things first, I finished reading the last 2 books that I was reading in this vlog. First of which was Let Us Believe in the Beginning of the Cold Season by Furugh Farrokhzad, the poetry collection I was reading. As you can see, as you actually may not be able to see, I tabbed several of these pages because I wanted to just like mark my favorite poems in here, and I just absolutely loved this. You all know that I love reading poetry, and I haven't been reading as much as I used to when I was younger. I feel like a few years ago I was much more into reading poetry than I have been in recent years. and this one absolutely got me back into it. This has easily become my favorite poetry collection of all time, and this is also easily one of my favorite books I've read this year. I adored this. It was so beautifully written. So many of these poems just deeply resonated with me, and even the ones that didn't resonate with me on a personal level were just exceptional poems alone, and I loved it. I cannot recommend this enough if you want to read some poetry. And it was also just so nice for me to be able to read poetry by an Iranian poet, and I'm just so happy that I decided to randomly buy this at the bookstore the other day because, oh my god, I'm in love with it. After I started reading this book, my mom told me that she grew up reading a lot of Fuluh Farrokhzad's poetry, and she listened to a lot of it as well because a lot of Persian poetry is like spoken a lot of the time. And so I went on YouTube and I listened to some of her poems that were just like read aloud in Farsi, obviously, so I could hear like the Farsi version and also the English version since I can't read in Farsi. Listening to it is the only way I can actually hear the original Farsi, and it was so nice. It's still really difficult for me to actually understand poetry in Farsi. It's different. I think it's similar to like if you understand like English, but it's harder for you to like read Shakespeare or something because it's just a different way of writing and it's like an older form of writing. Persian poetry, at least from my understanding and from what like my family has told me, is kind of similar in that it's like sometimes really difficult to understand, especially if you don't like speak Farsi all the time. And while I'm fluent, I've forgotten so much that like it's hard for me to understand sometimes, but it was still really nice to like hear the original poems as well in the original language. So yeah, I just all around loved reading this. So glad that I read it, and I highly recommend it to anybody who wants to either get into poetry, because it's honestly really easy to read. I think the translation is really well done. Or if you just really love poetry and you're looking for something new to read, this is absolutely my recommendation. 5 out of 5 stars. Okay, and then I finally finished Sorcery of Thorns, which I have been reading for like, it took me like 2 weeks to read this, and that is not because it was hard to read or I was bored or anything. I literally, like no joke, I just didn't want it to end. I kept putting it off. I was like, no, I can only read 1 chapter. If I read more than 1 chapter, I'm gonna have to keep reading, and I don't want to. I don't want it to end. I just kept stopping myself from finishing it because I didn't want this book to end because I loved it so much. Oh my god, this is my favorite thing I have read in 2022 so far. Here's the thing, I think technically it is not objectively the best thing I have read this year. There are some books that like I objectively as a whole think are like better books, however you want to define that. But for me personally, for my taste in reading, for the types of books that I love and that really just click with me, this was it. This was everything. Oh my god, I'm in love. I am obsessed. This is my whole personality now. I just want to read it again. Literally the other reason it took me so long to read was because like as I was like reading it halfway through, I would just like go back and reread parts of it before I'd even finished it because I just wanted more. I haven't done that while reading a book in so long, and it felt so good. Oh my god, this was just pure perfection. This book feels like reading a Studio Ghibli film. Like it feels the same, especially Howl's Moving Castle, and you all know that's like my favorite movie ever. So having this have the same energy as that, have a very similar dynamic with the romance and just the characters in general and kind of like the world. It's maybe a little bit darker than Howl's Moving Castle, but Howl's Moving Castle is also pretty dark too. So I would say it's really similar in the balance that it has with like humor and lightheartedness and also some darker themes and stuff. It was just pure perfection for me. I just adored every single second of reading this book. There was not a moment where I was like, I wish this was better paced, or I wish this would like hurry up or slow down or something like that. Like I loved every second of it. Every second. It was just so good. You can see probably, hopefully, I don't know how well the camera picks it up, but I tabbed so many pages in this book, and it's been a while since I've done this. I've always tabbed the books that I read whenever I physically read something if I like it, but it's been a long time since I've tabbed something this much. I think the last time I tabbed something this much was when I read Chain of Iron. But no, oh my god, every single moment that Nathaniel and Elizabeth have, because I love them. I literally just loved the romance in this so much. It was so wholesome. This also has bisexual representation. I was not expecting that. It literally made me cry when I got to that part of the book. I love Elizabeth. I love her as a main character. I love Nathaniel. He has very strong Hell vibes, so of course I'm going to love him. And Silas too, oh my god, everything about it was just so perfect. The ending exceptional, chef's kiss, elite, 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10. I cannot rave about this enough. I'm not kidding. This book was everything I needed and everything I wanted, and I feel like it was written for me, if that makes sense. Like, this I would put on my list of like Hannah books, like books that define my taste, books that I would recommend to other people if I wanted them to like understand what my taste in books are. This would absolutely be on there. This was so good. Literally a new all-time favorite book, like easily in my top 10, potentially in my top 5. I don't know how to explain how enjoyable this was for me to read and how much I felt like this book just understood my taste in reading. It's also a book about books, and like a book that is set like in a library for a good portion of it too. So it's about books and libraries and reading and stories and the power of stories. And as you all know, books about books are my favorite types of books. See The Shadow of the Wind, The Starless Sea, those types of things, anything like that, I eat it up. I love it. And this was that, so it was perfect. That coupled with the Studio Ghibli vibes, I don't need anything else. I loved it. Now I really want to read Vespertine. I think that's what her other book is. I do have an arc of that one as well, so I'm probably gonna read that one fairly soon. But I don't think I'll like anything as much as this. This was pure perfection. So yes, anyway, very glad that I finished this and that I loved it so much. Look out for this in my top favorite books of the year because as of right now, it's number 1. Okay, so those are the books that I finished reading in this vlog. 3 books, which is not too bad, but it did take me like a week and a half to finish filming this and finish reading them, but it's fine. I was busy, okay? But I do want to end this video with a quick book haul because I have a lot of books here and I don't have another time to share them, so we're just gonna share them now. First and foremost, I bought a ton more manga because she cannot be stopped. First, I picked up Snow White with the Red Hair Volume 1. I was missing Volume 1. I only have Volumes 2 and 4, so I still need Volume 3 and the rest of them, but finally they had Volume 1 back in stock. It has been out of stock everywhere forever. This is one of my favorite anime series of all time. I'm obsessed with it. I've seen it like 4 times because I just love it that much. It's so wholesome and so happy and just purely comforting to watch. But yeah, one of my absolute faves, so I'm very happy to have this so I can finally start reading these. All right, next up, I don't think I have talked about these in a video yet. I know I've mentioned this on Instagram for sure, and I don't think I've talked about it in any of my videos yet, but now is the time. What did I get super into and super obsessed with? Spy Family. I am obsessed with Spy Family. I bought every single volume that is currently out, which is volumes 1 through 7, because I am in love. I started watching the anime when the first 2 episodes were out or something, and I was like, this is the cutest, most wholesome, best thing I have ever seen, and I need to read the entire series right now. When I posted my first manga haul, a lot of you recommended this series to me, and I had been eyeing it for a while back then too, and I was considering reading it, but for some reason, like, I had always seen like the cover of Volume 1 and I was like, I don't know, like I don't really care about like spies and action adventure stuff. Like sometimes I like that, but it's not usually my thing, especially when it comes to manga. I really like reading like the slice of life romance type of thing. That's more of my thing when it comes to manga. I didn't understand what this was about, okay? I didn't understand that this is wholesome slice of life content in the best way, plus spies, plus a telepath, and plus assassins, and a really cute fluffy dog. It's literally perfection, and I'm so glad I finally read them. Well, I've only read volumes 1 through 5 so far. I still need to read volumes 6 and 7. But if you happen to not know what Spy Family is about, let me enlighten you, okay? Spy Family is about our main character, Lloyd Forger, aka Twilight. He is a spy, and he's given this mission where he has to infiltrate the elites in this country. And for this mission, he has to have a child and a wife. And so he adopts this child named Anya. And Anya, little does he know, is a telepath. So she can read his mind. And so she knows that he's a spy, but he doesn't know that she's a telepath or that she knows that he's a spy. And then once he finds his wife, we meet Yor, and Yor is secretly an assassin. So this family is so incredibly dysfunctional in the best way possible, and they are just pure perfection, pure wholesomeness. I know the description of the story does not sound like it's like really wholesome and cute, but I promise you, this is the cutest thing I've ever read. If you like found family, this is it. This is top tier, god tier found family. Found family is my favorite trope of all time in anything. And oh my god, this is it. This is it, people. This is the top of the line, top shelf found family. it doesn't get better than this. It's genuinely funny. It's genuinely heartfelt. There are moments where I like want to cry, not because it's like sad, but because it's truly so touching and emotional. It has action, it has adventure, and like really good pacing with the plot and everything, but it is also very slice of life in a lot of ways. And it's mostly just about their lives together, trying to like maintain this facade of a family that they have. And it's so, so good. I seriously cannot recommend this series enough. This has easily become one of my favorite things I've read this year, one of my favorite things I've seen this year, and just a new all-time favorite series. I'm obsessed with Spy Family. I want everyone to read it. I feel like this is my year of just recommending manga to everyone that I become obsessed with. So, but seriously, if you haven't read Spy Family yet, get on that and thank me later. All right, next up, the last 2 volumes of manga that I got were volumes 3 and 7 of Blue Flag. I think I hauled the first 2 volumes in my last haul. I have read all of this series now. At that time, I'd only read the first 3, I think. And now I have kind of mixed feelings about this series. I don't really know exactly how I feel about it. I liked it enough, obviously, to buy more of them, and I think I will complete the series. But I do have like iffy mixed feelings about it. I don't know. There are things about this series that I really loved. Moments that genuinely made me cry. And then other moments where I'm like, that felt a little questionable, and I don't know that we should have handled that in this way. And I'm trying to not spoil things, but there's just like one part of this story that gets incredibly like homophobic, and it is like called out in the book, but then it is also in some ways kind of excused. And so it was kind of confusing to me, and I'm just not sure I liked the message of that one like component of the story exactly. It felt a little odd. And if you've read it, I feel like you probably know what I'm talking about. But like as a whole, I don't think that the message of the story is bad by any means. And I say that that part of the story felt kind of homophobic, but the entire series is like a queer story. There are multiple queer characters. It's about discovering your sexuality. So like in some ways it was relevant to the story, but at the same time, I would definitely put content warnings on this for mentions of child abuse and specifically child SA, and also for like pretty intense homophobia. And it's not like a huge part of the story, it's just mentioned once, but I feel like you should know that before you read it, because it does get pretty intense in my opinion, and it was hard to read. But as a whole though, I did like it, and there were, like I said, so many moments in this series where I was just like, that was really good, and I've never seen anyone really talk about it that way or that honestly. I just really liked the way that some things were handled, and then some things I was more iffy about. So I don't know, I have kind of mixed feelings about it. Volume 6 I think was my favorite one by far. I loved it. And then I felt iffy about like the last 2. So I would recommend it, but please just go into it knowing that I think it's in volume 7 that it starts to get like a little difficult to read, and there are mentions of some like difficult topics. So just like look up the content warnings and know what you could handle. But as a whole, I'm glad I read this. It's unlike anything I've read before, and I think that it just had some really important discussions about love and relationships. So yeah, overall I think I gave these like a 4 out of 5 stars. But next up here I have a book I haven't heard anyone talk about, but I cannot explain why. I was just really drawn to it when I saw it online. It's Masters of Death by Olivia Blake, the author of the Atlas 6 and Alone with You in the Ether, the book that everyone's obsessed with right now. I bought Alone with You in the Ether like months ago, and I started reading it months ago, and I really liked it, but then I just didn't pick it up again because I just didn't have time and I got busy with other things. And I read the Atlas 6 months ago as well, and I did enjoy that one too, but for some reason, I saw this the other day while I was just browsing, and I read the description of it, and this is just the first sentence, but it says, this book is about a real estate agent. Only the real estate agent is a vampire, and the house she has to sell is haunted, and the ghost haunting the house has been murdered and has no idea how he died. And I read that and I was like, sold. I want to read this. That sounds so good. So I bought it. On a whim. I haven't seen a single review of this book. Honestly good. I'm kind of in a place right now where I'm like, I want to read things where I haven't seen anyone talk about them like at all. I just want to find things that I like for me with no outside input, no outside opinion. And so maybe this is a start for that. Obviously she's a very popular author, but this I don't think is a book that many people have read, unless I'm wrong. I also don't spend that much time looking up the books that people have read, so maybe it is popular and I don't know. Hello. So like 3 weeks after I filmed this video and bought this book, Olivia Blake just announced that she's traditionally publishing Masters of Death along with some of her other previously self-published work. So that's really exciting news. So I'm glad I bought the book now because it's not going to be available for a while. That like first line of the description just completely hooked me, and I was like, I need to read this. I feel like I'm really going to enjoy it. It sounds like the perfect thing to read in the fall. Yeah, it just sounds really interesting, so I'm excited to try this out. Okay, next up, I got a super exciting arc of one of my most anticipated reads of the year. I have a video planned that will include this book, so I can't read it right away, but I will be reading it hopefully within like the next month or so. And that book is Babel by R.F. Kuang. This is the author of the Poppy War series, which I know everyone has been begging me to read for so long, and I will read it. I will, I promise. It's gonna be part of like another experiment video. That's gonna come soon too. I don't know about soon, but it's gonna come eventually. And that series has definitely always intrigued me as well, but when I saw this, I saw the description of this book, I saw the cover of it, I saw people talking about it, I was like, this sounds like something I'm gonna be obsessed with. So when I got the arc, I was super grateful, and yeah, now I'm so excited to read this. This is set in a fictional version of Oxford in the 1800s, and from what I understand, it's about the impact of colonialism and imperialism in academia and the education system, and that just sounds so good. Like, oh my god, I would love that analysis in a like fantasy book. From what I understand, I think this is fantasy. There's like one tagline in here which I feel like would sum up what the book is supposed to be about very well, which is, can powerful institutions be changed from within, or does revolution always require violence? And that just sounds so good. I don't know what to say. I know this book has so much hype. Everybody is excited about its release, and I am definitely one of those people. So again, very, very grateful to Harper Voyager for sending me a copy of this arc, and I just cannot wait to read it. But yeah, there you all have it. Those are the books in my haul and the books that I read during this reading vlog. I don't even know if you can call this a reading vlog. I don't know what it is. Nonetheless, I hope you all enjoyed this chaotic video, and I hope that you have been having a good week, and I hope that you've been reading things that you love and enjoy. Let me know in the comments down below what your favorite book is that you have read recently. I also just want to remind you all, and let any of you who don't know yet, that my new bracelet with Ana Luisa, the Hannah bracelet, is available now, and it is available on Ana Luisa's website. I will leave a link for it in the description box so you can go check it out there. I'm super proud of this bracelet and super happy with it, and some of you have already started receiving yours and sending me your pictures, so thank you so much. I'm so glad you're all enjoying it too. So yeah, be sure to go check out the Hannah bracelet in the link below if you would like to purchase one for yourself. But again, thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you would like to follow me on any of my social media, all of my links are in the description box as always. But thank you all so much for watching. I love you very dearly, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!